Well, let's bring on our first guest. You saw him up here with Killer Joe and the Late Night Band. He's known as the Philly Elvis. Let's get it for Nick Ferraro. How you doing, buddy?
Right,
What's going
awesome,
on?
Man, awesome.
You're looking good.
Feeling good, thanks, man.
Where'd you get that suit, man? Did you rob it?
Yeah, I wish, man. I think he robbed me the way I paid for it. But there's someone in the Midwest that has a license to make the exact replica of Elvis's suits. Mm-hmm. And I actually got this 20 years ago. Still
Really?
fit in it.
Looks awesome.
Barely. But $2,500 for the suit, the cape, and the belt. So.
Did you take insurance out with that or no?
Nah.
No?
Nah, man, no.
That's nice. I'm a big Elvis fan.
Oh, good.
So now listen, what made you start doing Elvis impersonations?
Well, born and raised in South Philly, and I guess it was like 85, 86. There was a talent show at a local bar, and we decided to enter, and didn't know quite what to do, so I said, let's do an Elvis tribute. And we did it. We kept advancing. We made it to the finals, and we called ourselves the King and Company, and we won the contest. And people came up and said, man, where are you playing next? And I'm like, I mean, you would keep seeing us play? And we said, yeah, and that's how it all started, so.
Well, listen, you got a lot of stories, but we're short of time tonight. But I got something really cool that people like know. Bruce Springsteen, you got up on stage with him, and you played a couple of songs. Now, tell me about that whole relationship, how you hooked up with Bruce.
So, entertaining all the years, Bruce was, my main idol, him and Elvis.
Okay.
And always wanted to entertain with him. So, end up getting a ticket and winning the lottery right in front of the stage. So I brought a sign that said, "Can the King sing with the boss?" And I had my suit, and in the middle of the show, he started doing All Shook Up, and in the middle of it, he said, "Come on up, King." And I went up there and handed me the mic, and I just went, okay, man, my dream came true. And we started doing All Shook Up, and I said, hit it, Bruce, and he did the guitar solo, and I said to myself, man, there is no guitar solo in All Shook Up. So I looked at Max, and right at the end of the guitar solo, I just changed the song on the E Street Band and did Blue Suede Shoes. The band was right with me. And then on the corner of my eye, I see Bruce coming up, and I'm like, oh, I think that's it, Nick, you're done.
Yeah, that's what he does. He pulls you up there a certain amount of time, but then when he wants you off, you're off.
And then that was it. And then I left the stage, and he held the last note and looked at me and said, the Philly Elvis, the Philly Elvis. And he's the one that gave me the name. It was 2009, and the rest has been history, man. It's just been great. And
you also been in his documentary, right? What was it?
Springsteen and I,
yeah, talk about that.
They filmed us in South Philly, my wife and I. We were on a park bench eating a cheesesteak, of course, and talked about what had happened, and we would talk, and then they'd show the clip, and they'd keep going back and forth. And it was great, and it was a worldwide documentary, and because of that, very fortunate. Got booked in England, first time in Europe, and played there, and it's just been wonderful, man. It's been fantastic.
Now, you had little Steven and Clarence Clemens on the stage with you when you did it, or no? Was Clarence living at the time?
Oh, yes, yep. As a matter of fact, that was Clarence's last show, was 2009 in Philadelphia. And it's funny because during the show, when I was in the audience in front, Clarence would look at me and smile, and he kept biting his lip, shaking his head like he does, and laughs and everything. It was, it was just such a memory, man. It was incredible.
Now, what do you talk about? You're getting into acting now, right? You dabble into acting.
Yeah, so
there's some kind of independent film coming out now. You changed the name. So what's the new name?
Yeah, so real quickly, I always wanted to be an actor, and with the family and everything, and I started doing the Elvis and all that. So now that the kids are grown, having kids of their own, started getting more serious about acting. Got my first feature film coming out in the fall. It was entitled The Wrong Guy. Mm-hmm. Now it's called Backfire. The premiere of the movie is going to be in Philly in the fall. Okay. Great talented director, Dave Patton from L.A. And the movie's about the Philly mob. Figures in my look, but that's
What's
I
your
guess
part
I got
in
the. I'm one of the mobsters, and I don't want to sort of give away anything of the movie, but I have to tell you, it doesn't end well for me.
Right. Well, that's good.
In the movie, but yeah, I enjoyed it, man. It was my first feature film. I enjoyed doing it. It was a supportive role. I had a lot of lines, and so I'm looking forward for that to come out and keep moving forward. So
good for you. Now, do you have any originals? Do you plan on doing any kind of recordings of your own in the future?
I actually, 2010, I wrote a song. I did a 6-week tour to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma, and I wrote a song called Now It's Time for Love, and sold it to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma, and 8 shows in 6 weeks. We raised $44,000.
Oh, nice.
And so that was really my only original that I wrote and recorded and everything, so it's okay.
Good for you. So what can people look forward to you in the future?
Well, I got to tell you, I hope, so many people from in this country and other countries have seen me live performing, but now I hope they can all see me on the big screen and the small screen too on TV. So that's my goal now. I want to be a serious actor, and that's what I'll be doing. So I hope they can see me.
Well, Nick, come back anytime. Maybe in a couple of years you come back and you jam with us with the band. How's that?
All right, awesome, man.
When we do
Thank
the new
you.
show.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it,
Nick
man.
Ferraro,
Thank you so much.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.